Welcome back to SugarBee, where we dive deep into the shows that capture our hearts and never let go. And today, Outlander fans, it's finally here, the trailer for Season 8, Episode 1. Jamie and Claire's eternal bond takes center stage, in what promises to be the most powerful and heartbreaking chapter of their story yet. But behind the romance lies danger, betrayal, and a fight that could change everything. So grab your whiskey, settle in, and let's break down every single detail you might have missed in this breathtaking trailer. The trailer wastes no time, reminding us why Outlander has captivated audiences for nearly a decade: the enduring and unshakable love between Jamie Fraser and Claire Randall. From the very first seconds, we are pulled back into their world through the simplest but most powerful of images: their hands intertwined, fingers gripping tightly as though time itself could never pry them apart. Their eyes meet in that familiar, timeless way, a gaze that speaks volumes without a single word. It's more than romance, it's recognition, resilience, and the echo of every battle they've fought to be together. In that moment, the audience is reminded that Jamie and Claire are not just characters, they are a bond. A bond that has survived centuries, wars, betrayals, and loss. This opening sequence is deliberate. It is not just nostalgia, it's a declaration. The trailer is telling us, right from the start, that Season 8 will not shy away from what has always been the heart of Outlander: love that defies everything. Yet the beauty of this moment also carries weight, because behind every tender glance lies the shadow of what's to come. The sweeping shots of the Scottish Highlands, draped in morning mist, only add to this sense of bittersweet anticipation. The land itself feels alive, whispering stories of memory, sacrifice, and destiny. The breathtaking scenery doesn't just set the stage, it's almost a character in itself, reminding us that this story has always been about people caught in the tide of history, fighting to hold on to something eternal. The significance of Jamie and Claire's return in Episode 1 goes beyond a reunion. It's a Over the course of 7 seasons, we've seen them torn apart by time, forced to live years without one another, endure unbearable heartbreak, and face near impossible choices. And every time, the universe has found a way to bring them back together. This cycle of separation and reunion has defined their story, and in this opening, the trailer seems to say, here they are again, against all odds. But at what cost this time? Their eternal bond has been forged in fire, literal and metaphorical. From the ashes of Culloden, where Jamie nearly lost his life, to the shores of the New World where they carved out survival with their bare hands, every trial has tested them. The images flickering across the screen aren't just pretty visuals, they are memories etched into their souls. And yet, the trailer's choice to focus so strongly on their connection suggests that no matter what Season 8 throws at them, Jamie and Claire's bond will remain the anchor in the storm. But make no mistake, this isn't just a love story in the soft, romantic sense. This is love as survival, love as defiance, love as a weapon against fate itself. By opening with such powerful imagery, the trailer warns us that everything we see from here on will test this bond like never before. The return of Jamie and Claire isn't just about coming home, it's about stepping once again into the fire, hand in hand, with only their eternal bond to guide them. The voiceover in the trailer immediately hits with a force that feels both poetic and ominous. They have crossed centuries, defied wars, and fought destiny itself, yet their love still burns. These words do more than just narrate the story, they define the very essence of Jamie and Claire's journey. Outlander has always balanced romance with history, fantasy with reality, but now, in its final season, the true enemy isn't just flesh and blood, it's time itself. Time travel has always been the heartbeat of this story. It was the stones at Cranadun that tore Claire from her world and placed her in Jamie's arms. It was time that separated them for decades, forcing them to live entire lives apart before fate gave them a second chance. And it has always been time that threatened to take everything away again. But in Season 8, the trailer suggests something new. Time isn't just a backdrop anymore. It is their most dangerous adversary. It's the ticking clock in the background, reminding them and us that even love this strong cannot outrun mortality, history, or destiny. The flashes of memory we see: Culloden's battlefield, the trials of the New World, and the countless sacrifices along the way aren't just there for drama. They're a haunting reminder of the scars this couple carries. Some scars are visible: Jamie's wounds from battle, Claire's trembling hands after years of healing the broken. But others are far more hidden: the loneliness of years spent apart, the unbearable knowledge of what they've lost and could lose again. These moments are stitched into their souls, and Season 8 Episode 1 seems determined to pull those threads tighter than ever. This chapter of their story asks a question that cuts to the heart of Outlander itself. How much can two people sacrifice before even love begins to fracture? For Jamie and Claire, every reunion has been bittersweet, every victory hard-won. But the trailer makes it clear this season won't just revisit old wounds, it will open new ones. The voiceover acts almost like a warning, telling us that while their bond has carried them across centuries, fate might not be so forgiving this time, and that is where the brilliance of the trailer lies. By positioning time as the ultimate test, the stakes are no longer just about surviving a battle or outwitting an enemy. The stakes are existential. It's about whether love itself can stand against the inevitable pull of fate. In a way, Season 8 is shaping up to be less about external forces and more about the invisible weight pressing down on Jamie and Claire. They have endured war, betrayal, and separation, but what happens when the greatest battle isn't fought with swords or scalpel, but with the ticking clock of destiny itself? Episode 1 feels like the moment when this question takes center stage. Their eternal bond is powerful, yes, but the trailer reminds us that even eternal love is still bound by the limits of time. And this season, those limits will be tested like never before. The trailer makes a sharp turn from the warmth of love and devotion to something much darker. Just when the audience begins to breathe in the beauty of Jamie and Claire's eternal bond, the pace changes. Quick, jarring cuts take over the screen, soldiers marching in unison, their boots striking the ground like a drum of doom. Torches flare against the night, their flames reflected in eyes that hold no mercy. And then the image of letters sealed in blood-red wax, a chilling detail that hints at betrayal, conspiracy, and the weight of secrets long buried. The narration drives the knife deeper with the ominous words, "Enemies are no longer strangers. They are shadows that wear familiar faces." This single line changes everything. It tells us that Season 8 will not simply pit Jamie and Claire against faceless armies or nameless foes. Instead, the danger is far more personal. The enemies coming for them may be those they once trusted, perhaps even loved. The battlefield this time isn't just out in the open, it's in their memories, in their loyalties, and in the ghosts that refuse to stay buried. For fans of Outlander, this idea is both thrilling and terrifying. We've seen again and again how betrayal cuts deeper than any sword. Think of Blackjack Randall, whose shadow haunted Jamie long after their encounters. Think of Loghair, once part of their family circle, who turned her jealousy into dangerous obsession. Think of political allies who shifted their loyalties when survival demanded it. The show has never been shy about reminding us that betrayal often comes from within arm's reach. The trailer's imagery suggests that Season 8 Episode 1 may reignite some of these old wounds or perhaps bring entirely new ones that echo the betrayals of the past. The letters sealed in wax could symbolize hidden communications orders passed in secrecy, alliances struck in the shadows. Soldiers marching could mean the threat of war rising again. But paired with the voiceover, it feels more personal than political. Could it be that someone within Jamie and Claire's world is orchestrating a plot against them? Someone who knows their weaknesses intimately. The thought itself is chilling, because while they can prepare for open battle, how can they prepare for betrayal at the hands of those they once held close? And yet, the brilliance of this setup lies in its ambiguity. The trailer doesn't give away who these shadows are. Instead, it leaves fans grasping at possibilities, debating whether past figures will return, or if new enemies will mirror old betrayals. Either way, the stage is set for a reckoning that has been years in the making. Because when enemies wear familiar faces, every memory becomes suspect, every bond becomes fragile, and every decision becomes a gamble between trust and survival. Episode 1, then, is not just about the return of Jamie and Claire, it's about the return of the shadows that have followed them for decades. The ghosts of betrayal walked beside them, and in this new chapter, those ghosts may be more dangerous than any battlefield enemy. One of the most haunting and unforgettable images in the trailer comes in a single moment of vulnerability. Claire, clutching her medical kit, stands frozen in the glow of candlelight and chaos. Her hands tremble, her breath quickens, and her voice breaks into a whisper. "Jamie, they're coming." For all the years we've known her through bloodied battlefields, improvised surgeries, and moments of life and death decisions, Claire has always been the picture of courage. To see fear so plainly written on her face signals that what's coming is unlike anything they've faced before. This isn't the fear of death alone, it's the fear of losing everything. of losing him, of being torn apart once again. The camera then shifts to Jamie, and the contrast is striking. His face is smeared with dirt, lined with exhaustion, illuminated by firelight that seems to etch the weight of every battle he has ever fought across his expression. And yet, his grip on the sword is firm, his posture unyielding. Where Claire trembles, Jamie steadies. Where she fears, he resolves. It's a perfect depiction of how they've always balanced each other, two halves of one eternal bond, carrying both vulnerability and strength in equal measure. This sequence tells us something vital about Episode 1. There will be no slow re-entry into the world of Outlander. From the very first hour, we are being thrust directly into the storm of war, betrayal, and survival. Claire's whispered words don't just warn Jamie, they warn us as viewers. The enemy is already at the gates, and hesitation could cost everything. Claire's trembling hands are also symbolic of her role in this new chapter. She has been the healer, the one who mends what war destroys. But medicine cannot stop betrayal, nor can it shield those she loves from fate's cruel hand. The medical kit she clutches is almost a metaphor for her attempt to hold on to control in a world spinning into chaos. Her fear is not weakness, it's awareness. She sees the storm coming long before it crashes, and she knows the cost it may demand. Jamie's resolve, on the other hand, reflects the warrior he has always been. For him, every battle is a vow, renewed to protect Claire, to fight for his family, to defy the fate that has tried to claim him so many times before. His sword is more than a weapon. It is the embodiment of his promise. In this moment, his determination doesn't just counterbalance Claire's fear, it strengthens it. Together, their fear and their resolve weave into the very fabric of survival. This single exchange, her whisper, his silence, the unspoken vow in their eyes, sets the tone for the entire season. Outlander Season 8 isn't easing us back into love and memory. It's plunging us headfirst into a crucible where their eternal bond will be tested against fire, steel, and time itself. The storm is already here. And from the very first episode, Jamie and Claire must face it side by side, risk losing everything they've built together. The trailer for Outlander Season 8 makes one message unmistakably clear. Love is no longer just a comfort or a refuge, it has become a weapon. A voiceover whispers, when the world closes in, love itself becomes a weapon. And in that single line, the heart of this season reveals itself. Jamie and Claire's love story has always been more than romance, it's been an act of defiance against time, destiny, and the countless forces determined to pull them apart. In Episode 1, that defiance sharpens into something fierce, almost combative. The imagery is striking. Jamie and Claire move through smoke-filled chaos, the world around them collapsing into fire and ash. At one point, Jamie drags Claire through the haze, his arm wrapped tightly around her as if his very grip could shield her from danger. Their silhouettes, dark against the orange glow of fire, look less like a couple fleeing and more like warriors refusing to yield. Passion here isn't soft or delicate. It's survival. Their love drives them forward, keeping them alive when everything else screams surrender. This isn't the first time Outlander has blurred the line between romance and war. But the trailer suggests that Season 8 will lean harder into that theme than ever before. In earlier seasons, we've seen Jamie and Claire's intimacy heal wounds, mend trust, and remind them why they fight. Now, their bond feels like a weapon honed over decades, each scar and heartbreak sharpening its edge. Enemies may have swords and armies, but Jamie and Claire wield something even stronger in yielding devotion. One quick flash in the trailer shows Claire tending to Jamie's wounds, her hands steady despite the smoke and noise around them. Another shows Jamie holding Claire so tightly it looks like he's anchoring her to life itself. These aren't just romantic gestures, they're tactics. Their love fuels their survival, giving them strength when their bodies are broken and their spirits tested. Episode 1 seems poised to remind us that love, when forged in fire, can withstand any assault. But there's another layer here too. If love can be a weapon, it also makes them vulnerable. Two enemies, Jamie and Claire's bond is their greatest weakness. Strike one, and you wound the other. This paradox, the same force that protects them also exposing them, creates a tension that promises to define the season. Episode 1 may show us just how dangerous it is to care so fiercely in a world that thrives on tearing people apart. And yet, this is what has always set Outlander apart. Love isn't a backdrop to the story, is the story. It's not just about survival, it's about purpose. As Jamie and Claire brace for new battles, their eternal bond isn't a passive shield, it's an active force, a weapon sharpened by years of sacrifice, resilience, and unbreakable trust. So when the voiceover says, "When the world closes in, love itself becomes a weapon," it isn't poetic exaggeration, it's prophecy. Episode 1 will prove that Jamie and Claire's greatest strength has never been their swords, their allies, or their strategies. It has always been their love. The trailer builds its tension slowly, layering scenes of war, devotion, and survival only to hit us with one moment that makes everything stop. Claire stands in a dimly lit room, shadows flickering across her face. At first, her expression is unreadable, but then her eyes widen in unmistakable shock. Her breath hitches. Something, or rather, someone has just stepped back into her life. And before we can process what she's seeing, the screen cuts to black. It's the kind of deliberate cliffhanger designed to ignite speculation, and it does so perfectly. Who could possibly leave Claire Fraser so shaken? This single, carefully placed scene might be the most tantalizing part of the episode 1 trailer. We don't see the figure. We don't hear their voice. All we are left with is Claire's raw reaction, fear, mixed with disbelief, recognition tangled with dread. And that tells us more than any dialogue could. Whoever this person is, they are not a stranger. This is someone who has carved themselves into Claire's past. Someone whose very presence reopens wounds she thought long healed. Theories among fans are already flying. Could it be an old lover? Someone who once stirred her heart before Jamie became her forever? Or is it a betrayer? A figure tied to the scars of her journey through time and war? Another possibility is even more unsettling. Someone thought long dead or lost returning from the shadows. Outlander has never shied away from resurrecting the past, both figuratively and literally. And Season 8 might be preparing to deliver its most shocking return yet. What makes this moment so powerful is the way it reframes the threats Jamie and Claire face in Episode 1. Up until this point, the danger in the trailer has been external soldiers, war, fire, betrayal from the outside. But this mysterious figure suggests a far more personal kind of enemy. Not every battle is fought on a field with swords drawn. Some of the deepest cuts come from the people we once loved, trusted, or couldn't let go of. These are the wounds that never fully heal, and they are the hardest to fight against because they strike at the soul, not just the body. Claire's shock also raises questions about how Jamie will react. If this is someone tied to Claire's past, whether a lover, a betrayer, or a ghost of history, then Jamie's resolve will be tested in new, deeply personal ways. Trust has always been their greatest strength. But Episode 1 hints at a situation where trust itself may become a weapon used against them. This twist doesn't just promise drama, it promises a season-long reckoning. The past has always haunted Jamie and Claire, but now it seems it is stepping directly into their present. And if the trailer has taught us anything, it's that this figure isn't coming back to heal old wounds. They're coming to reopen them. Episode 1's biggest revelation may not be found on the battlefield at all. It may come in that dimly lit room, in the silence between Claire's shocked breath and Jamie's unflinching resolve. And when the truth is finally revealed, it could change everything. The trailer saves its most devastating punch for last. The screen fades into darkness, and Claire's voice trembles in a whisper. If we lose this, we lose everything. For years, her words have been the anchor of Jamie's world, but here, they feel like a haunting premonition. The silence that follows is broken by the narrator's chilling declaration. The war is here, and in the war for love, not every heart will survive. With these lines, the trailer transforms from a mere tease into a declaration of finality. This isn't just another season premiere. This is the beginning of Outlander's Endgame. For nearly a decade, fans have watched Jamie and Claire fight fate, bending time itself to preserve their love. They've crossed continents, survived wars, endured betrayals, and sacrificed more than most human hearts could bear. But now, all of those choices and sacrifices converge into one inevitable truth. Everything they have built, everything they have suffered for, hangs in the balance. The war has arrived, not just the literal battles raging around them, but the war for the soul of their love, their family, and their legacy. Claire's words, "If we lose this, we lose everything," resonate like a warning, not just for Jamie, but for us as the audience. We know how much they've already lost, from Culloden to America, from children separated to friends buried. And yet, the trailer suggests that even greater sacrifices lie ahead. What more could they possibly lose? The answer, chillingly, may be each other. The imagery that closes the trailer underscores this sense of looming finality. Flames consuming the horizon. Soldiers clashing in the distance. Jamie and Claire holding each other as if one embrace could stop the world from tearing them apart. These flashes don't just foreshadow a season of war, they foreshadow heartbreak. They tell us that Outlander is no longer about whether love can survive time. It's about whether love can survive its ultimate test. And then comes the narrator's final words. Not every heart will survive. It's a line that plants doubt, dread, and urgency all at once. For a series that has always been defined by its central love story, this is the cruelest possible promise that Jamie and Claire's eternal bond may not escape unscathed. Perhaps they will endure together, weathering the storm as they always have, or perhaps, in this final stretch, sacrifice will demand one last, devastating price. Episode 1, then, is not simply setting the stage. It's drawing the line between past and future, between survival and destruction, between love that conquers and love that breaks. It's reminding us that every heartbeat, every decision, every whispered vow, has led to this moment. As the trailer fades, we are left with one question, the question that will carry us through the season. Jamie and Claire's love has spanned centuries, but can it truly carry them through the storm to come? The end has begun. And there you have it, Outlander. Season 8 Episode 1 isn't just another beginning. It's the start of the endgame. A chapter where every choice, every scar, and every heartbeat matters. Jamie and Claire's eternal bond has carried them through centuries of love and loss, but now they face the storm of their lives. The question is no longer will they survive, it's what will survival cost them. This season promises war, betrayal, heartbreak and moments of devotion so powerful they'll stay with us long after the screen fades to black. If this trailer has proven anything, it's that Outlander is going out swinging, and Jamie and Claire's love will either become their greatest weapon, or their final sacrifice. So, Outlander fans, I want to hear from you. Do you think Jamie and Claire will make it through together, or is the show preparing us for a devastating goodbye? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'll be reading every single one. And if you're just as excited for the journey ahead, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to SugarBee and ring the notification bell so you never miss a breakdown, theory, or update as we dive deeper into this unforgettable final season. This is more than just a love story. This is survival. This is destiny. This is the beginning of the end.